Welcome to Middlesex Moments, the radio show of Middlesex Community College. I'm Dr. Steve Minkler, the college's academic dean, and your host for these programs. Middlesex Moments comes to you from the radio studios in Middlesex Community College's Center for New Media, located on our main campus in Middletown. Joining me today are John Shafer, who's a professor of philosophy and communication who works in the Center for New Media. Hi, John.
Hi, Steve.
And also with us is Jennifer Wood, who many of you may know by her stage name, Cherry. And Jennifer is the founder and producer of the Middletown Music Festival, which occurs here on the Middlesex Community College campus this weekend. And so, Jennifer, how did the music festival get its first start?
I was a student here a long time ago, and I'm a local artist. And I started producing a open mic at the Buttonwood Tree about 10 years ago, and just began to meet a lot of local artists and musicians. And then I started to produce a local radio show at WESU all around the same time. And I started to meet more people who were producing their own local music. And I thought, wow, I want to bring what I'm seeing at the open mic and having on the radio show to a place where everyone can enjoy it. And I was here watching Art Farm's Shakespeare in a Grove, and just one thing clicked, and I said, gee, could we do that here? So I immediately asked John, I'm like, what do you think of that? And he was like, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. So it was in August of 2011, I want to say. So we did it, we pulled it off with just 3 bands, and we had no budget. So all the bands donated their time, and we found Stereo Joe, who does our sound, who was willing to do it for us for a reasonable cost. And we did it, and it was great, and it's grown every year, and it's all local music, all Connecticut artists, except for this year we have a band from New York. They happen to be my parents. They're a jazz band. Okay. So we're open to local music from other states, but the focus is really what's happening here in our own state in Connecticut. Middletown is a wonderful place to have such a thing, being in the middle of the state, being at a community college like this where it's just such a beautiful location. Lots of parking, really makes a lot of sense. Families can come with their kids. You can have young people come. We've had senior citizens. We had a bus full of people with disabilities be brought in, and it was really wonderful. And they were so thankful for us to have a festival they could bring everybody to, and we were very happy that they were here and enjoyed all the music. So
great.
Yeah.
Now that first year must have felt kind of exciting because you were pioneering something new and different, right?
Yeah. So it was really exciting, and we pulled it off with just a few bands, and it was inspiring. And Middletown had a music festival many years ago, but it didn't. I guess it was more focused on national acts, and so it's a lot of work to put a festival together. So it didn't last very long. So, I've always thought local music is great. People think that it has to be national music, but national music was once local music. People like good music. It doesn't matter if it's the Rolling Stones or the Balkan Brothers or the Michael Cleary Band. Those 2 bands are local, and Rolling Stones everybody knows. What matters is the music good? People like it. Is it going to get you up dances? Does it make you feel something? Does it excite you? And yes, for all these bands that are playing that are all locally based, all of that. It touches everything. It's multi-genre, where we have jazz and we have folk and we have rock and roll. We've had hip-hop. We don't have hip-hop this year, but we've had it in years past. So there's something for everybody's musical tastes, basically.
Right. Yeah, and it seems like a wide variety of bands, and you've got about, 20 bands over the 3-day period that the festival runs.
Yeah.
Right? So, well, great. So as we go into a bit of a quick break here, why don't we get a little sample of the kind of music we're going to hear this weekend as part of the 6th annual Middletown Music Festival being held right here at Middlesex Community College.
After all the time we spent, let's take the bellway around the town. After 35 minutes, the last time at the wall, think I've seen enough for now. Enlisted life names.
Oh, thank you. How's everybody doing on the little hill here? All right? Having a good Sunday afternoon? We're called the Balkan Brothers. We thank you for having us here. We're gonna get on down now. Oh, yeah. traveling across the land now. Got my suitcase in my hand. Well, I've been on a road for such a long damn time. No, I only got one thing on my mind.
Welcome back to Middlesex Moments, coming to you from Middlesex Community College. I'm Steve Minkler, and you just heard a little bit from a track by the Balkan Brothers, who will be playing on campus this Sunday as part of the 6th Annual Middletown Music Festival. And with me today is John Shafer, professor at the college, and Jennifer Wood, known to many of you by her stage name J. Cherry, who is the founder and producer of the Middletown Music Festival. And I understand the Balkan Brothers have an interesting backstory. They have not just a local following, but they've been touring around the world, actually, right?
Yeah, no, they've been on 2 or 3 European tours, and they played sold-out shows. Germany, Paris, Amsterdam. They are Hartford-born natives. I want to say Hartford, but they're in Connecticut. Their family has been in Connecticut for many, many years. And they're 2 of them. They're 2 brothers, blood brothers, and my gosh, they are absolutely incredible. And it's when you hear their music, when you just are just blown away by the fact that it's just the 2 of them on stage.
Yeah.
And they, I'm thankful every year I'm able to get them. This will be the 3rd year they've played for us, and it was unsure if they were going to be able to do it because they're touring in Europe, they're touring all over the country. They've won numerous blues awards, including it was a Connecticut Local Music Awards, or is it New England Music Awards, where they won Best Blues Band. They've won blues challenges at Sally's and just numerous awards, as they are incredible local music.
Yeah, I love the sound of that, yeah.
Yeah, and it's, I met them through producing the radio show that I produce called Voice of the City on WESU, and I met them. They reached out to me, wanted to come on the show, sent me a sample of their music, and it was just like, yes, no brainer, and then invited them to the festival. And being able to see them here at the Middletown Music Festival in the Grove is a real treat, because it's just a beautiful setting and everyone can enjoy it, because they play at a lot of big places and bars and stuff like that. So this really allows their music to reach a very vast audience, and thankful to have them, because eventually I'm like, that's the name to watch on a national level. Okay. That'll be the local music that you see. Just all the music is really good, but these guys have just been really getting it out there. Right. They've hit on the right wavelength. There's something to be able to go overseas like that and do so well.
Yeah, you can definitely feel why they have a great appeal to a lot of people. I mean, really, I like the sound of that music.
Yeah.
So John Shafer, you are professor of philosophy and communication, work in the Center for New Media, and you've been at the college a long time. And what do you see as sort of the real important connection between the music festival and the college, and what we're trying to do here to be a place where arts and music and theater can happen?
Right. Well, thanks, Steve. First, you actually identified, I think, one of the big things, because we are a community college, and so a festival like this really feeds into, I think, one of our core goals, our core mission, which is trying to address local needs and connect with the community, provide arts and culture, in this case performing arts activities for the community. And so it's a great opportunity also for people to come up and experience the college. So there's several hundred people that attend each day at the concert. So it's really been a win-win situation, I think, for us, because we love being able to provide these kinds of host these kinds of opportunities. We also do the Connecticut Ballet, the Shakespeare in the Grove, and periodic other activities during the year. So in this case, we were actually able to integrate some of our Center for New Media activities, because we record the music here, which we have available, and we're hoping to be able to provide it on our streaming radio station, which we're trying to get up and running, as well as other venues on the web and things like that. So, and we've had several of our students involved in doing some of the both videotaping and recording some aspects of the show.
Right. Yeah, one of the things we hear a lot from our students is the ability for them to take more classes in music, whether that's performance or production. And this is kind of a nice tie-in, even though we're stronger on the production side at the moment.
Absolutely. And I do want to take the opportunity just to throw in the fact that we are starting a new program in audio and music recording. So, and we have some great new recording facilities here at the college and the Center for New Media. So we've always had a very strong interest in music and audio recording. So we're going to try to be developing this program starting in the fall this year. So.
Yeah, and Jennifer, you said you yourself were a student here at the college at one point, and it must be exciting for you to see this grow to a point where you as an artist can also perform on campus in this way.
Yes.
And bring more than just the music, because it is outdoors in the Grove. I've been to the festival a couple of times, and it's not just a stage with some bands. There's lots of other activities happening around.
Yes, absolutely. So this year we have sound healing, which we had last year. We're going to have that again this year. We're also going to have like a community drum circles. So that's by Andrew Mark Prue, who provides the sound healing. He has these beautiful gongs, and you can go in and you can get gonged and have that experience, which is really wonderful. He's also makes drums and has this a full drum circle. He is a one-man drum circle. He provides all the drums, so you can just come up if you want to be a part of that drum circle. You can just show up and be able to play the drums, and he's very accommodating for that. And usually we'll have like drum circles intermittently when there's like breaks in between bands. Also this year what we have is really exciting. I'm happy we have some authors coming this year. So there'll be 2 local authors. One author, Beth Caruso, and she wrote One of Windsor's Own, and it's a story about the first witch hanging, which actually happened in the state of Connecticut. So we have our own Salem, so to speak. Here in Connecticut, we have a really fascinating history about the witch persecutions in our early, history in this country. So she'll be here, and also the other author, Catherine Beda. Oh gosh, her last name is eluding me right now. But anyway, she wrote Into the Gallows is the title of her book. And both of them will be here with a crew of other writers and researchers into our history of witchcraft in Connecticut. So that'll be really interesting. We also have a local columnist from Durham who's going to be in. She's also a life coach. So she'll be on hand to talk to people, and they can see her book as well.
Great. Yeah, so lots of different things.
Yeah.
As you said, for the whole family as well.
For the whole family, there'll be hula hooping, and we're trying to do a bounce house, but I can't guarantee that this year, so I don't know if that's going to happen. But
And also a local beer tasting.
Oh, and the local beer tasting for 21 and over on Saturday afternoon, and beer is exciting. So, there's all different local craft beers in Connecticut. It's really quite a growing movement, and so many different varieties of beer. Wow, you can make like a jalapeno hot pepper beer, which is pretty good, actually.
So I know you brought a couple of other samples of music. So what are we going to hear next?
Michael Cleary Band?
Michael Cleary Band, yeah.
Which is one of the most popular local bands.
Okay.
So.
This is one of my favorite Michael Cleary songs. I request it from him all the time.
I've been thinking about time, how it all relates. I think back to when it all began, with nothing but a void and then a big bang. Now my life has traveled along the same lines. I dabbled in space and I waste a lot of time, but I've yet to get the big bang. And even Stephen Hawking knows the nature of man. It's who we are, not where I'm going, no matter how far.
So that was a bit from the Michael Cleary Band, who's also playing on Sunday. As
Yes,
part of
they
the music
close the
festival.
show. That's pretty traditional that they close the show on Sunday. They've been with us almost since the beginning. The first year they weren't with us, but they've played with us for 5 years. So
Okay.
he's a great local artist.
All right, and how do you go about finding the bands? Is it some networking that you do? Is there an audition process, or is it a word of mouth type of?
A lot of the folks I know, just being an artist myself, and also the radio show, we invite them as guests onto Voice of the City, and that's usually where the connection is made. Like being on Voice of the City is kind of like that first step in, because it establishes a relationship with us, where we know we can trust that working with this group is going to work. People have to show up. So if we have someone who doesn't show up, we know we wouldn't book them because that can unfortunately happen sometimes. Not very often, but unfortunately sometimes it does. So we like to just kind of know who we're working with.
Okay, yeah, and that's not going to happen this year for the 6th annual Middletown Music Festival.
No, not at all.
No, again, happening this weekend here at the Middletown campus of Middlesex Community College. And we have to take another quick break, but as we go into the break, we'll hear another selection from one of the bands that you'll be able to hear at this week's festival. And welcome back to Middlesex Moments, coming to you from Middlesex Community College's Center for New Media. Steve Minkler here together with John Shafer and Jennifer Wood, also known to many of you as Cherry. And we're talking about the 6th annual Middletown Music Festival, which begins Friday night at 5 o'clock at the Pavilion and in the Grove here at the Middletown campus of Middlesex Community College, running Friday night, all day Saturday, and all day Sunday. And Jennifer, I got to imagine putting on a show like this featuring local musicians, local artisans, there's a lot of work and everybody's got to pitch in on this.
Yes, absolutely. And I just would like to take a moment to thank the Middletown Commission on the Arts for their support for the last 5 years with a grant that helps us to make this festival happen. And the band that we were just listening to, Someone You Can X-Ray, the members of that band are wonderful people and very knowledgeable and will be on hand to be helping manage the stage and running the sound on the pavilion stage as well. So, we are a grassroots music festival, and it's all artists making it come together. It's not a commercial thing. It's about the music. It's not about anything else other than the art and the music that's here locally in Connecticut.
Right. And the festival is free of charge for people?
It's free of charge. We ask people to give a donation if they can. We appreciate that, and you have a chance to win a T-shirt or a CD for making a donation. Thanks to the Middletown Commission on the Arts for helping us. That's one of the reasons why we're able to bring it free. It's also nice that the college has been supportive in opening up the campus for us, which is huge. And also want to thank WESU has been very supportive because we're not a nonprofit, so when we go apply for the grant, we need a representing entity, and WESU has done that for us.
I think it's worth noting that, if I'm correct, all the musicians in all the groups this year are volunteering.
Yes, everybody is volunteering their time and energy to make this festival happen, because it gets challenging, because there's some things that you have to have money for, the tents and sound and things like that. So it's really nice that artists donate their time to showcase their work for this community event.
Right. Well, they're showcasing it, but they're getting a lot of exposure because several hundred people come through the festival at any given time, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's a great venue and it's a great crowd that you can get a little bit of whatever you want. You can also stay for the whole weekend, right?
Well, you can't stay on campus.
No, right. But you can come each of the three.
To clarify, right?
I've
Not one of those kind of
thank you.
festivals.
People have been asking about that, so no.
Okay.
But yes, you can come all weekend long, and because the festival starts Friday night and ends Sunday evening with Michael Clary, and so you can come all weekend long.
Right. Well, and not for nothing, because this is a show about Middlesex Community College, just so happens that we have registration going that Saturday So you can come register for class, hear some great music, and
Yeah.
partake in the music festival.
Yeah,
right?
that's a
So-
wonderful thing. I would have loved that registering.
And John, as we talked about earlier, this is a great connection for the college to have with the local arts community. And we have a beautiful campus, beautiful facilities to do this in, but it really kind of helps us connect our students to what's happening in their own community.
Absolutely, and as I mentioned before, Steve, we've got our students. Some of our students are involved in helping run the festival, or at least record the festival, and work at the festival. And once again, we're trying to help train students to be able to do music recording. We do video recording, and we have programs in these particular areas. So it's a great opportunity for them, because a lot of the students are very interested in music, and even being able to see the artist and how the different musicians are performing, and how you run a festival. I mean, it's all a great learning experience for all the students who are involved in it. So
There's so many aspects between the musicianship, performing on stage, which you do, Jennifer, and to do all the logistics behind it, running the sound boards or lights, and also, even though this is a free event, and sometimes you're taking tickets, you're advertising it. There's lots of advertising about this that have been out in the city, which is terrific. But what's it been like for you as a performer, Jennifer, to get to put this together, but then also appear on stage as part of your own festival? It must.
That is definitely a challenging aspect of it. I always say I go hide right before we're gonna play, and I got to get my cherry on. So because you change modes in where you're at, and so I need to just go kind of decompress backstage, and that's the wonderful thing about having a community of artists. They take charge. They're watching both the stages while I'm getting ready to perform, and they also keep it running while I'm performing. So that is definitely challenging. It's also very exciting to be a part of that. There's other amazing artists and take the stage. And this year we're going to play on the pavilion stage. It's a little different for us. We're going to be playing at night, and we're playing on a different stage. We've played on the Cedar Grove stage, but we wanted to do something a little different and play in the evening. So we'll see how that goes this year.
Okay. And by my count, you've got over 20 different acts that are playing over the weekend, and the musical styles must be pretty varied musical styles.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got a band like Randomizer, which is, wow, how do you describe them? They're just incredible, really talented artists. Techno-electronic. I mean, this Jeff Carter, he's just a mastermind. He also plays with Someone You Can X-Ray, and he also plays a Randomizer. But it's just really wild stuff that he'll play, and he's got this. It's like a space. It's just like a spaceship, and he does it all with his guitar, and he's got all this stuff going on, computerized sounds, and incredible drummer and bass player. And then you've got Jay Roberts, he's got kind of like a rock and roll, classic Southern rock and roll sound. Inner Worlds, which is my parents' group, they're going to give you the kind of flavor of like a Jeff Beck sound, very kind of wild, jazzy, just wow, they really rock. Giggle Juice, which has got a reggae kind of flavor to it, kind of reggae Americana, if I can say that. Does that work? Hannah's Field, who now, it was her and her husband, now they've moved out and they have a full band. They just produced a new record, which hopefully will be here at the festival. They definitely got that reggae kind of vibration to them, definitely. And, our band, people ask me all the time, what is your style of music? And I'm like, it's original. Because it's hard to say, what is the style? Well, it's got a little bit of a folkiness, a blues to it, a rock and roll. We got poetry mixed into there. So Screaming Eagle Band, definitely a local rock and roll band. So we do have a lot of rock and roll music this year, but there is still quite a variety.
Okay. And I'm really impressed that a person would say that their parents rock.
Yeah, my parents rock. They're pretty good. It's pretty amazing. We had them at an event last year, and everybody was just blown away. That's your parents? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, they're pretty talented. They'll be playing on Friday night, and their band is called Inner Worlds.
Okay. Now, and what do you do in your group? Are you the singer? Or are you?
I'm a singer, and I play the ukulele, and I manage the band.
Awesome. Okay. So I think as we get closer to the end of the show, we'll hear a little bit of a snippet from your recording. And John, I'm just trying to think of the nice connection again with the college, but also your own involvement as an artist yourself. You have a background in film and a little bit of an interest in. Do you play any music yourself at all? sing or anything?
I'm not really a musician myself. No, that's why I like listening to music, and I love the opportunity to be able to record it. It feels like I can be a part of it.
Right.
So I actually like playing around with music. So I do play around and create things, but I wouldn't classify myself as a musician at this point.
Okay, maybe at next year's music festival.
We'll see.
Right.
I did sing when I was in high school, so I had some experience singing.
Well, I think appreciating the music is almost as important as performing the music, because if you don't have an audience,
There you
Jennifer,
go.
you're not gonna get what you need out of your side of the equation.
Yeah, and that's
right?
one of the benefits and actually motivations is to get artists on stage and share their music, and it's a works both ways. The audience is really important. We need music appreciation.
Right. And so I encourage all of our listeners to come this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, to Middlesex Community College for the 6th annual Middletown Music Festival. We've got over 20 bands. We've got arts and crafts. We've got all sorts of things happening on campus, both in our pavilion and at the Cedar Grove stage. I'd like to thank my guests, John Shafer, Professor of Philosophy and Communication here at the college, and Jennifer Wood, also known as Jay Cherry, who's the founder and producer of the Middletown Music Festival, being brought to you in large part by the Middletown Commission on the Arts. And we're going to end this edition of Middlesex Moments from Middlesex Community College by hearing a little bit from Jennifer's band Jay Cherry and the Strawberries. So until next time, I'm Steve Minkler. Thanks for tuning in to Middlesex Moments.
I heard you went away on a late midnight train, and I see now it was only a letter love, only paper as far as I can see. Oh, the boat is taking you away, right?